Let's get you caught up on the latest top prospects next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5. As always, make sure to follow and stream us on Spotify. Today is Saturday, April 23rd. I am Frank Stanfield, joined by Scott White, and the 5 prospects that are on the verge. These are prospects worth stashing in redraft leagues. Unless these names get promoted, they're probably not going to change for a while, so keep that in mind. But they could.
They change sometimes.
O'Neal Cruz with the Pirates, Nolan Gorman with the Cardinals, Jose Miranda with the Minnesota Twins, Max Meyer with the Marlins, and Grayson Rodriguez with the Orioles. Scott, I know that Nolan Gorman is on a home run barrage right now, and Max Meyer feels like he's perfect every time he pitches.
Yeah, that is true. Nolan Gorman has moved up the priority list here, I would say, in terms of stashing him in redraft leagues. Recently had a stretch of 7 home runs in 7 games. And what's interesting about Gorman is that the Marlins have promoted him so quickly. He's only 21 years old that we haven't gotten a chance to see him repeat a level before. Basically, he gets hot at a level and they move him up. So he's back at AAA this year after seemingly mastering it last year. And we're seeing the kind of power that's always been advertised for him. He's always been considered to have the 70 grade power, Pete Alonso-like power. And the numbers never quite backed it up, I think, because they kept moving him up so quickly, right? So now we're seeing this huge power output from him, and I think it may be legit. The strikeouts have been up during this time, and Tommy Edman's off to a great start at the major league level. So I'm not sure a promotion is imminent necessarily, but Gorman's doing everything he can to show he belongs after being in the mix for the DH spot in spring training. And Max Meyer, you mentioned it, like pretty close to perfect. He's allowed 5 hits in 19 2/3 innings in the minors so far. And that's not even counting his 4 no-hit innings in spring training. So he's been untouchable. He's always had a great fastball and slider, but the changeup has come a long way. The Marlins are an organization known for developing changeups. And so I think Max, he might leapfrog. Frankly, Max Meyer might leapfrog Edward Cabrera when the Marlins have a rotation need. That's how good he looks. And Grayson Rodriguez, who's considered the top pitching prospect in baseball, he's a newcomer to the 5 on the verge here. I kicked MJ Melendez out for him because Grayson Rodriguez has been near untouchable in his first 3 starts too, because he pitches for the Orioles, who are of course playing for nothing. I'm not confident that we'll see him before midsummer. Once he's beyond the point where they have to worry about him getting Super 2 status later on, that entering arbitration a year earlier. But maybe. I mean, he's the caliber of prospect where there comes a point where it just looks silly if he's dominating that thoroughly. And through 3 starts, he seems to be on track for that.
You know, Scott, you said midsummer, and it reminded me of this movie that I saw, Midsommar. Have you heard of it?
I have not.
It was terrible. Don't watch it.
Okay.
5 prospects on the periphery. Corbin Carroll with the Diamondbacks. Matt McLain with the Cincinnati Reds. Jared Shuster with the Braves. Ceddane Rafaela with the Red Sox. And Tanner Gordon with the Braves. What do we got going on with these 5, Scotty?
So Matt McLain hit for the cycle on Sunday, and he's had a lot of extra base hits, a few home runs already. It's notable because he was drafted last year in the first round, thought to be more of a floor guy than a ceiling guy, maybe somebody who wouldn't have the power to be an impact player in fantasy, though he had a pretty good hit tool. The power looks good so far. Obviously a small sample, but something to monitor, because if there's better power here than thought, then Matt McLain could become a pretty good dynasty asset. Jared Shuster had 21 swinging strikes in a start recently. Seems like he may have picked up a little velocity. He was the Braves' first round pick the same year they drafted Spencer Strider and Bryce Elder in later rounds, because Shuster has this like crazy changeup, and 21 swinging strikes between the fastball and the changeup. I mean, that shows that fastball is playing a little better. I think he's locating it up in the zone better. Something to keep in mind. There's upside there with that changeup. And yeah, Ceddane Rafaela of the Red Sox, I hadn't heard of him before featuring him in the latest prospects report, but he has been surprisingly powerful so far. Always had good speed, really good defender, can play all over the diamond. I hesitate to make a Mookie Betts comparison because obviously it's ridiculous to think there's going to be another Mookie Betts someday. And I don't think Ceddane Rafaela will be, but he's 5'8". He's got that defensive profile Betts had where he could play anywhere. And the power kind of came out of nowhere like it did for Betts, a guy who already had pretty good contact skills and some speed. Not a fair comparison, of course, for Ceddane Rafaela, but very impressive start for a guy with an interesting enough skill set that maybe he deserves some attention in dynasty leagues.
Yeah, this guy packs a punch, huh? He's kind of a small dude, 5'8", 152. That's what he's listed on milb.com. So far, he's hitting for some power. Again, that is Ceddane Rafaela. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, your smart speakers, or anywhere else podcasts are found. And thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. We'll be back again on Monday morning. Bye-bye.